There's Alyssa Brand before cancer that is very similar to Alyssa Brand after cancer. I just think she's like one of the most earnest, hardworking people that you've ever met. She's just a kind, genuine, like real kid. She's just an awesome person.
Welcome back to Des Moines, Iowa. There you take a look at downtown. Beautiful Wednesday night here in Iowa's capital city.
Yeah, that day, that morning I went to the doctor and he had me get an ultrasound because I had like a lump on my neck. So Taylor, our trainer, took me and they said they would call with the results. And then later that afternoon, Gary said that he was taking me back to the doctor, so I knew like something might be wrong just because they said they would call. And then when I got there, he said like that they saw some things that didn't look normal, so that I would need to get a biopsy on my neck, and that it was most likely thyroid cancer. So obviously I like tried to process that as best I could, called my parents, and then right after that, Gary drove me to the game. And so no one knew, and I just like felt like I had to play the game, so I just like basically tried not to cry, played the game, and then sort of like finished the game and sort of like broke down after that, but no one really knew.
I actually knew as the game was going on. She didn't know that I knew. As it went along, I was just going to sort of let her dictate what that looked like in terms of if she was going to tell me before the game, after the game, whatever. But the whole time I knew that she just heard this news, or that potential news at that point.
It would be so easy for her to shut down and let it affect her season, but that's not the person that she is, and she's so brave and wanted to play through it because she was healthy enough to do so. And so that just like speaks to how brave she is and really her character.
Right after I got my biopsy, I had to fly home, and my parents drove me back to Evansville to meet them for the game the next day. And it was like right after I found out, and everyone was sort of processing it. And so they were dropping me off, and my team was like in the middle of practice, and I saw Lindsay, and I just sort of started like tearing up. And the entire practice stopped, and there was literally just like a line of like 25 girls like waiting to give me a hug. And like, that's the best picture I can paint about the team here.
And prior to her even having this like event with cancer, she had 5 goals her freshman year, 5 goals her sophomore years, and she was sort of feeling like, I haven't scored, I haven't really contributed the way I want to. And then when she got this news and leading into Evansville, I was like, at this point when you score, it's just going to be amazing, having done what you've done and still playing through it. And so it was kind of funny in that her next game, the Evansville game, she hit the post within like the first 90 seconds. And then when she didn't, we were like, oh gosh. But then for the Illinois State for her to have such an impact, and the way that she did it with 2 diving headers, and for us to clinch the league, like it was almost like, you know, a storybook, kind of something you hear about in the movies, really.
I took my finals like a week early, which was tough, but my professors were all super nice about helping me schedule that so I could get back and get surgery. The tumors were like super close to my the like nerve that moves your vocal cords, so it took like way longer than anticipated because I had to like scrape really close up to it. But they took out like 40 lymph nodes, 5 of them had cancer. So they were like super cautious, really good doctors, things like that.
You almost feel helpless when somebody that you care about and that is younger than you goes through something like this, and you worry about what could happen. But just to see her, I don't know, just be so resilient through this, and also to just see a very raw Alyssa Brand. Alyssa is a kid that would very much like smile and, you know, grit through something, and then we just got to learn a different side of Alyssa.
We know how emotional and how difficult it was for her, like mentally especially. So being able to be there for her right after she had that tough surgery, I know it just meant the world to her, and it just like encouraged her to keep like fighting through it.
My voice was super hoarse. It was really hard to talk, so I got another procedure where they injected something into my vocal cord while I was awake. They essentially stuck a giant needle down my throat, like numbed it up. That was the most painful thing that I went through in the whole process, to like help me be able to speak better. And then after that I had to get like some speech language, like therapy exercises to like strengthen my voice.
She came back and she fought so hard to get herself fit, and there were times where you know that it was like just, she's never been unfit like this before, and to no fault of her own. It was just something that she had to battle back from. And then she went through the process again over spring break after she had the radioactive treatment. But you would you like wouldn't know it. Do you know what I mean? She never sought pity. She just constantly rolled up her sleeves and was like, I'm just going to do better than I did yesterday. And I think it had a tremendous positive impact on her teammates, just to see, like, if she's going through that and getting it done, I can do it too.
I couldn't really imagine being in her position at this age because it's just kind of unheard of. But you definitely need support going through things like that. And there was nights when she would just come in my room and we would just talk, and it just makes you step back and realize that there's so many bigger problems than what we think we're facing. And it just like definitely makes you change your perspective on like your biggest challenges in life.
Just the support from my teammates and my family, and just all the Drake staff, like from the trainers and my professors, like was the main driving force behind me being able to like be focused on soccer. I think just like knowing the news like gave me more appreciation every time I stepped on the field, and just like wanted to make it count, and like just felt so appreciative that I was able to like be there, that it sort of gave me like a new perspective and like a new appreciation for what I was doing.